Good afternoon, class. I'm Professor Ehue. My name is Tamara Ogden, and I thank you for your time. Now, I want you to think of what first comes to mind when I say exercise regularly. For me, it used to be all kinds of excuses as to why I wasn't doing so, including I don't have enough time, exercise is boring, or of course, I'm just too tired. But all of that has changed for me now, and I think if everyone knew the benefits exercise awards you outside of just the physical ways, these excuses wouldn't be as readily employed. Regular exercise not only benefits you physically, but mentally and financially as well. The physical benefits of exercise range far and wide, and one of the most important ways is through your heart health. According to the Mayo Clinic Family Health book, when you get sufficient physical activity, you combat high blood pressure, high cholesterol, prevent heart disease, and strengthen your heart muscle. Also, regular exercise helps you control your weight, maintain a healthy weight, or lose weight. And as shown by the World Health Organization, by controlling your weight, you combat many diseases, including diabetes, cancer, gall disease, gallstones, arthritis, and gout, just to name a few. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I'm young, I don't have to worry about this for a while, this only happens to older people, but that's just not true. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 14% of American teens are overweight. This puts them at risk for diabetes and high blood pressure. Such was the case for my little brother, Keith Jr. He admittedly rarely exercised, and he kept gaining more and more weight as time went on. So much so that his doctor had to put him on high blood pressure medicine at only the age of 17. He absolutely hated having to take his medications, and so he decided to make a change. He decided to dedicate himself to exercising regularly, and just a little under a year later, he had lost a lot of weight, and he didn't have to take his high blood pressure medication anymore. And he told me he feels much, much happier now. And that brings me to the mental benefits. While the physical benefits of exercise are more obvious, participating in regular exercise has several amazing mental health benefits as well. For example, exercise can reduce or even eliminate depression. In a 4-month study conducted by Duke University, 60% of participants were able to overcome their depression just by exercising. All they had to do was exercise 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week, and they completely overcame their depression. But you don't have to be suffering from depression to reap the mental benefits of exercise. According to another study done by Duke University, just 8 minutes only, of regular exercise can reduce stress, anxiety, sadness, and anger. This is because when you're physically active, endorphins are released in the body's feel-good chemical, both before and during exercise. Now, one of my favorite benefits of exercise as a student is it increases GPAs. According to a research at Saginaw State University, they studied the correlation between exercise and 266 undergraduate GPAs. What they found was those students who exercised regularly had a 0.4 higher GPA than those students who did not. Amazingly, there are even more benefits to be reaped from exercise, the financial benefits. Regular physical activity can save you hundreds and even thousands in healthcare costs. For example, the International Council on Active Aging explained that on average, a person can save $2,200 a year in healthcare just by being physically active. Not only this, but being obese and not physically active can negatively affect your professional life. The average obese worker tends to miss more work days than their physically active counterparts, and this can cost them $800 and more a year due to obesity. On a national level, absenteeism from obesity costs employers $4 billion annually. And lastly, Americans' growing waistlines are forcing airline companies to spend more money on jet fuel. According to a study done by Cornell University, airlines have to spend an extra $275 million a year because of passengers' added weights. These costs are reflected in higher ticket prices that comes out of every traveler's pockets. So, now that you have a better idea of just some of the benefits awarded by exercise, it is time to get up and get moving. This means no more excuses. I'm guilty, like I said before, of using every excuse in the book for why I wasn't exercising. You might say exercise is boring, which is very common, and I must say bogus excuse. You just have to ask yourself, what are my interests? If you like dancing, you can dance. It's a great aerobic exercise. Or if you're like my mom and you like Richard Simmons, you can do Richard Simmons workout videos. He has hundreds. And if you're lucky enough to have a pet, you can even exercise with your pet. It's all about finding what interests you most and incorporating it into physical activity. This way, you'll be less likely to quit, more motivated, and you'll be able to stick to your routine better. Another common excuse is, I don't have enough time to exercise. I've used that one plenty of times. But you just have to keep in mind, regular exercise just means 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week. And according to AC Nielsen Company, the average American watches 4 hours of television a day. 4 hours. If we just took half an hour out of these 4 hours dedicated to television and exercise instead, that could go a very long way for our health. And in fact, you can even exercise while you're watching TV and make the most of your time. Also, you can just incorporate physical activity into your everyday life. We've all heard, take the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator, which is true. You can also find other ways, like a lot of us take the train or the bus in New York City. So instead of taking it all the way to your stop, just take it one or two stops before your regular stop and get off and walk the rest of the way. Or if you have children, just playing around with them in the house or in the backyard is a great way to sneak in physical activity without even realizing it or even putting that much effort into it. Now, like I said, I used to use all kinds of reasons for why I wasn't exercising. But once I found out all the benefits, all the before-mentioned benefits in addition to the ones I already knew, I realized how much exercising could improve my day-to-day life. Once you realize exercising is not a chore, but something to look forward to and enjoyed in your day-to-day life, then you'll really realize how much can be gained through exercise. You might even be able to surprise yourself with what you can accomplish. So let's all get moving today, and you can see that benefits of exercise go from physically to mentally to financially. Thank you.
Remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. And they didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in.